I'm Gage.
I'm Matt.
I'm Josh.
And this is Crash Test Reviews. Hello guys, this week we're going to do our review of Mass Effect 3, the highly acclaimed new game from BioWare. Their third in the trilogy, supposed last, so we're going to talk about it. It's a little interesting. Gage has never played any of them. I've played the first two, obviously, and but my character wasn't saved from the first one. And Josh was actually able to go through, he played all of them again to make sure he had a character. So we all got different experiences, and that's what we're here to talk about today. We're going to review it and just kind of give you guys what we think about it. So Gage, let's start off with you. Not ever playing any of them before, what did you think?
Going into it, I wasn't really excited about it. I told Josh before, you asked me, hey, are you going to get Mass Effect 3? And I was like, I don't know about it because I never played the past two and wasn't the game I was into, but I checked it out and I was really surprised about how much I got into it. Like the first character I made, I was like, he's not going anywhere, so I made another character and I really got into it. And now I'm on my third character, so yeah.
Alright, that's really good hearing from someone from the outside. Me, obviously, I liked it. I thought it was way better than the first one, obviously. It was definitely more emotional wise. You know, they definitely set a tone this time to make it seem like you were really involved with choices you made. And they had basically major choices you made. They had really good cutscenes kind of showing what you did. What about you, Josh?
I loved it. I thought it was sweet. The whole series in general is just, it's awesome. Like how you were saying, the character development and how you learn more about your character. Well, because I mean, you start the story for your character.
Yeah.
In the first game, you choose the background. Exactly. Yeah, you choose the background, all that kind of stuff. But all the characters you meet, I mean, they essentially have their backgrounds too. Yeah. But it's up to you It's up to you to basically unlock their backgrounds, or if you want to. Yeah,
if you want to. Overall, the graphics in this game are way better than the first one. They're better than the second one by a lot, and I think that really helps to tell the emotional side of the story, because while they don't look extremely realistic, especially with facial animations, they do look more realistic than the second game, and they look a lot better this game. You know, anything between like dust to just, you know, regular firefights.
Oh yeah, I love like walking around the ship and then you see like the little, you know, the beams of light, how it looks like it's reflecting off the camera or something like that.
The Star Trek-esque.
Exactly, that's awesome. I love that.
What about you? What did you think of that?
The graphics on this game, to me, when I was playing it, was up there with like the Red Dead, the Grand Theft Auto, the cutscenes. Like some of the minor characters weren't like beautiful, but the major characters, like the Krogan, what's it, Rex. Yeah. He looked like I don't know. It's just
actually that was Grunt this time around, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it depends on how you actually did it. Because I remember you said you decided to kill like everyone, right? No one survived your story, is that what you said?
No, the Batarians I killed.
Okay, so then you probably ran into Reeve then, right?
Yeah, it was Reeve.
Okay. Yeah. There's like, see, that's the problem too. This game has obviously 3 games leading up to it. So the choices that you make in the first game carry to second and then so on to the third.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, and it's cool too because they blend in small stuff and big stuff. Yeah. So say if your commander walked up to like Rex or something in the first game and farted on him, he's going to talk about it in the third one.
Yeah, he's going to be like, remember when I farted on you? You know?
Yeah, and he'll be pissed about it or he'll laugh about it. Yeah. Obviously that doesn't happen, but that's just a little funny thing.
A little example. But yeah, I mean, definitely that's the thing, is the characters in the first game, some of them you get to play with in the second and some you get to play in the third. So it's not the same characters on your squad, which is how this game plays, by the way. Each time you go on a mission, you pick 2 other people from your squad. So throughout the games, you don't have the same squad people. You have a few that were from the same. You know, you have one person, Garrus, who was from the beginning. Ashley comes back this time. She was from the first game if you kept her alive.
Liara as well.
Or Caden, Liara also. So yeah, pretty much like That's definitely cool. So what else?
Also, when you were on the Turian moon, right?
Yeah.
Looking off in the distance with the
pods. Oh yeah, that was awesome.
The Turian planet on the outskirts was wow.
Because even on the map that you were playing on, you could still see in the background there was the Reaper ships, and they were just like laser beaming everything.
Yeah.
You see like Earth all war torn and destroyed. Oh yeah, that's so cool.
And it's definitely cool. Obviously, I'm a big Halo fan. They kind of did that in the Halo multiplayer maps. Like you would watch, if you watch long enough, like big satellite dishes would turn and stuff. They do a really good job in this, in the fact that they make battles feel awesome, and that your little spot is not the only place that's getting the shit beat out of it. You know, they make sure you see big Reapers coming through, destroying towns and blowing buildings up, and definitely make it cinematic style in the background, like they're basically telling a whole nother story while you're playing yours, which is really cool. Other than that, I mean, they did a really good job with making it look good, making it feel personal, and overall just making it climatic towards the end.
One of the cool things, kind of like how we were talking about you feel like you're in the battle when you go back to Chanka, which is the home world for the Krogans.
Yeah, it's
it's when you're it's mission based. Don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah,
but when you're trying to activate the little satellite things, and you're actually face to face with one of the Reaper ships, when you have to run through the kind of like a maze part. There's a couple of like humps you have to jump over, but the Reaper thing is constantly shooting a laser at you. So I mean, that was scary.
Oh yeah.
I was like, okay, I want to activate these satellites because it's a really helpful thing that you'll eventually learn about. But I need to do this, but there's this giant thing shooting lasers at me, so that was it was suspenseful for sure.
That's another good thing too to point out is big scenes like that, when it happens, they did a good job at designing it so that when you do it, it's kind of hard for you to die. You kind of really have to mess up, because they want these big scenes to feel like you're really heroic. So they don't want you to die and have to repeat it and kind of lose the value. So they kind of do a good job of making sure you don't get hurt. I know that happens really well towards the end. There's like a big battle, and basically you don't take damage, but you know what your mission is, and you're going to do it, and you don't have to really worry about dying. But if you're in that kind of role-playing element, you also want to make sure, hey, I'm not trying to get hit. It's really a good job on their behalf to make sure that you feel heroic with that stuff.
Yeah.
Also, the voice acting in a lot of games, say like a Fallout, for example, they use the same voice for a lot of characters. This one, I really didn't see too many voiceovers.
There's like a giant span, because I mean, there's famous people. Yeah. Obviously, Freddie Prinze Jr., who was James Vega.
Okay. Yeah, got Martin Sheen.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. That's a really cool thing too, because I've noticed in 3, the voice for Commander Shepard, he really stepped up to the next level.
Yeah.
Like in the first and second games, he was Commander Shepard. He said what he needed to say. I don't want to say there was like no emotional tie when he was doing his voices, because the first 2 previous games were they were awesome. The voices were awesome, all that kind of good stuff. But I mean, in 3, he's doing the parts where he's screaming at people. He's really pushing out the emotion into it, so you really feel it's like, oh man, that's really cool.
They're definitely acting a lot more in this one, and that also ties into the fact that it feels more emotional, which definitely, back to what I was saying, like when they are acting, it really helps portray, that the world might come to an end or will come to the end, and you need to like really figure out, what do you want to do? What sacrifices do you want to make to finish this off?
That was actually a good point that you brought up. Is I mean, it's the world, the Earth may be destroyed. Yeah, you gotta fight for it. And so I found myself, because you can choose sides. Obviously, you can either be the bad guy or the good guy.
Yeah, Paragon and Renegade.
Yeah, I found myself doing all the good choices just because in the back of my mind I was thinking, hey, it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
Let people do what they want to do. Because there's a lot of times where you're walking around in the Citadel and stuff like that. Take, for instance, the guy who's been in the first 2 games where he's trying to get the refund for his item.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious that they actually brought him back. But you can choose who you want to, which side you want to support now in some of the little arguments. So I found myself saying, hey, it's the end of the world. Let him do what he wants. he's been working on this refund for the past 3 years.
Or 3 games.
Yeah, so just let him do what he wants.
Yeah.
So that was really cool too because it gives a little bit more of like an emotional tie-in.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more examples where if you played the first previous games, there's people that you talk to. There's even small people, like there's somebody who wanted to have a kid, but they weren't sure if it was going to be healthy.
Yep.
In the third game, you actually find the parents again. They're trying to figure out if they want to put them through daycare, all this kind of stuff. So you can support whether you can help them again, and support whether or not you should let them do it. Or I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Just because it is the end of the world, you know, be a little easier on people.
Yeah. What do you think?
The only dislike I had about it, which isn't anything big, but in the cutscenes, there's a couple of pop-ins, pop-outs where the character's talking, but he's not even in the picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had that a couple of times too.
You'll see it maybe once.
And then sometimes because they reuse a lot of the animations through the cutscenes from the first previous games.
Yeah.
Where, say, if it's like a little fetch quest where you got to give somebody something, they'll be like, "Oh, thanks, Commander Shepard," and then they'll do that thing where they'll turn to the side and then walk off.
Yeah.
Like I was like, "Oh, I've seen that one before."
Yeah, but there's some problems with the animation. I know it seemed like there's a few where voiceovers weren't really up to par, but it was kind of minuscule that like you had to kind of really pay attention to understand that. So after gameplay, I mean, you start off with being able to choose between 6 classes, I think. You got your soldier, your infiltrator, your vanguard, your something else, your adept, engineer, and something with an S, I believe. Sentinel. So you get to pick these classes. They're a mix between, you know, arms as in like weapons and stuff, or biotics, you know, force powers, things like that. Tech. For me, I was an engineer, so I was able to put up a combat drone and all that, which for me was really helpful. What'd you pick?
I was a soldier.
Okay.
Soldier.
I went with soldier as well, just for the fact that you have the one of the good things about the soldier is you have a whole bunch of the ammo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Changes.
Cryo,
incendiary, and stuff like that, so you can shred through armor.
Yeah.
All that kind of good stuff, and I just love that.
Okay. So, like, you start out, you pick your class, and like every other, you know, RPG-ish game, you create your character. Cool thing I like about this game is you kind of pick the background of your character. I know me, I believe I picked a war hero, and I forget there's 2 other options. You also pick where you were born, whether it was on Earth, or in a colony, or if you were, like, slave traded or something like that. It was really weird. But it really helps kind of, like...
It was really cool.
Yeah, it really helps with your different options you can pick later on. Your person will actually talk about those later on in the game too. What'd you think of like the character creation and stuff?
Oh, it was nice. A little bit of thing I didn't like about it is since I didn't play the first 2, I didn't know what was good or bad because you could have choose to kill Ashley Williams or Kaden. And I was like, who the hell?
Yeah, you had no idea.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna keep the girl, of course. But also, there was a lot of classes. I went with the soldier, the war hero. I went with war hero. I went with space. I think I was born in space.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. It was
just kind of like your typical stuff.
Yeah.
What about you?
I went with Earth, and then I believe I went with war hero as well. The thing that bothered me a little bit, though, since I had a file from 1, it didn't run off the same character creator that the second and third one did. So I wasn't able to directly import my character from 1 and 2 into 3, which was a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to see what he looked like updated. Because my guy going in from the first one, he kind of looked cool, but he was a little goofy.
Yeah.
So it would have been nice to see what he would have looked like in the updated graphics, all that kind of stuff. But that was a big problem to a lot of people.
Yeah.
There should be a patch coming up for that also.
Yeah, they said that they're working on it. They're going to get that out when they fix all the other problems too.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was able to recreate my character in a way, but make him look more of a badass, which was alright. But it still felt the same just because I had all the stuff from 1 and 2 carrying over. But
yeah.
I mean, the character creator is pretty straightforward, but it was a little updated, but it was awesome.
All right. So when you pick your class, you obviously, this is like a shooter RPG. So you start out with weapons. In this game, the weapons, if any of you played the first game, all weapons have stats, and then you can have little add-ons, like whether it does acid damage or whatever. The second one, they didn't have that. It was more or less like buy your weapon and upgrade it through their predetermined upgrade system. This game is a lot better. They kind of go a little like Call of Duty, like this generation shooter, in the fact that you get your weapon and then you also are able to add like a scope or barrel onto it.
Which can also be leveled up.
Yep, and those really help a lot. My favorite part about this game, and obviously this is like an RPG style game, so this is going to happen, is you can buy your upgrades if you want. If you are really good at making money, you can go around and go buy your upgrades.
Yeah.
But they place upgrades throughout the missions. And now I'm not sure if this is true on how they do it, but like let's say if you have your pistol and you have your barrel version 1, if you go through a mission and they might have it like it's supposed to be a barrel upgrade, so it might be 2. But if you had 2, then the upgrade you pick up might be 3. And I'm assuming that's how they do it.
It'll stack.
Yeah, so it'll basically just be the barrel, but it'll be the next version that you need, which is really fun because it definitely pays off the people who want to explore and, visit different parts. I know for me it was definitely more fun because halfway through the game I had all the upgrades from the weapon that I wanted to use, and a good amount for, my other squad mates that I didn't really care about. I just assumed that they would stay alive, because
right.
If not, then I wasn't picking them next mission, What about you?
Yeah, so the guns I thought were a good quality. There's a lot of guns. I heard in the other ones you didn't have too many guns.
Yeah, the last one you didn't. The first one you did.
The first one you had a crap load of guns.
It was ridiculous. Like, inventory management out the ass. It kind of sucked.
Yeah, you have a good variety of guns in this one, which I liked. Also, the powers I liked with the soldier, you have the Cryo.
Yep. Cool.
You have the Cairo Egypt bullets.
Yeah, they shoot.
I also
liberation.
I went with the armor piercing, especially when I was against the Cerberus. I liked using
Cerberus,
that.
yeah.
Cerberus. Story mode. I picked story mode for my first character, and I would recommend not using that one.
Okay.
I went in thinking, story mode, I was going to get both of everything, but you don't. You kind of you get all of the upgrades and all that, and it just gradually upgrades itself, so you don't really have any say of what you're doing.
Yeah.
I didn't like that at all, because even the AI was just retarded. I would just walk up and I could kill everyone without even... I don't think I died once.
Really?
And my armor, my shield never broke, where it was like in the red.
Yeah.
I never got that. My second playthrough I'm on now, I'm about 20 hours in, and I'm in the RPG feeling. I like it a lot more. I can customize what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, what I'm going to do with my teammates and my squad mates. I would recommend you doing the RPG.
Okay.
By the way, what he's actually talking about is if you don't import your character from 1 or 2, when you start 3 from scratch, it'll give you story. If you want to do a story mode where you just want to get the feel of the story, the combat is it's set to like easy. It's not as tough. You don't level up like he said. All your points and stuff, it basically just levels up your character. So it's the best character for the mode that you play.
Yeah.
Then there's combat mode for all the Call of Duty people who just want to go in and lone wolf style
shoot shit up,
glory hound shoot stuff. Yeah. Then there's RPG mode where basically you do everything. You choose the cinematic options, you level up yourself, gun modding, all that kind of good stuff. So that clears that up in case you didn't know.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But I imported my character, so I guess it just auto-assumed that I love RPGs.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, because I was able to choose all my cinematic options, do all my upgrades, do all my leveling, all that kind of stuff. But back to guns, I love the guns.
Okay.
This time around. The guns are awesome. I really love that they were able to, that they give you more customization other than just the character in the story.
Yeah.
They give it to your arsenal as well.
Yeah.
Because every little thing that you did, it added to the gun. So if you wanted more capacity for your gun, your thermal clip, it would either change the color, it would change like a light on it, which was really cool.
Yeah.
You add a scope on it, adds an actual scope, add a barrel, throws a barrel, etc.
Yep.
That was really cool. I love that. One of the things that I thought was a little odd was upon reading this game before it came out, they said that you were supposed to be able to pick up guns off fallen enemies.
Okay.
Which I thought would have been a great ad, because that's what you can do in almost any game now.
Yeah.
RPG, shooter, any. So you could pick up guns, and I thought that would be really cool, because that kind of opened up to me, so where if I picked up this gun, I could either say, sell it, obviously, break it down for parts,
Yeah.
get more mods, whatever, or just if it's a better gun than mine, use it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's cool that they didn't do that, because you could just buy the upgrades and make your gun powerful, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's cool because it really ties to what character you play with. Say, if you go with biotics, you need a low weight, so your power's recharged. Because you can't go in carrying all the guns in the game, because it'll weigh you down,
Yeah.
and it'll add weight to your, it'll add time to your recharge.
Yes.
So say if you're a biotic person, you throw warp, if you have all the guns, then it's going to take forever for
it to recharge.
Yeah,
No matter what stats you pick in warp that'll reduce it, it'll still have it.
Exactly, yeah. So you got to go in with positive weight, otherwise you won't be able to use your powers. For soldiers, I don't think we really even had to worry about it, because I know the grenades, you didn't have a recharge time on it.
Yeah.
The only thing that you really had to worry about with that was just your concussive shot.
Yeah.
So.
Now, you said picking up weapons. They do have, like, heavy weapons every now and then, just for certain battles.
Yeah.
They have, like, flamethrowers and stuff. But along with the customization, what I really like about this game is they streamlined a lot of stuff. For those who played 1, you could go to every single planet, land with your Mako, drive around and all that. That was really cool. But it also took a lot of time. In the second one, instead of landing on the planets, you could just scan them and basically probe them to get the resources.
Yeah.
In this game, it's literally is like specific planets that you go to, and some of them, all you do is scan it and get a probe once, and that's it, and you're done.
And then, sorry to interrupt, but in a way it's like almost a combination of both.
Yeah.
Because you scan the planets to basically get the mission, and then you land on it to go and do it.
Yeah.
Or you scan it and then you get assets which add to your war assets which help you beat the game. But
Yeah. But the thing I really like about that too is because with the weapons and how he said it changes your color, I think that really helps. Like, games these days are going into customizing everything, which I like.
Yeah.
People like the options. But the thing is with a game like an RPG like this, where it might take a while to beat and you might not have so much time, them saying you get this upgrade put on your gun and automatically get this color, it kind of helps, because not only does it give you the feel that, hey, you know, I did kind of customize it, but it also makes you not waste a lot of time picking your different colors. So you can waste that time on picking your color for your armor or something.
exactly, yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to bring up too is this time around you have a choice between if you find a suit of armor that is just one piece, it has set bonuses, say it adds health or shield, stuff like that. You have that, or you have the armor pieces that you actually pick up throughout the game that add bonuses as well. So with that, say if you're in a mission, you pick up like a chest piece or a head piece, or you pick up both. You can go in, customize the armor where you'll get weapon damage for your chest or shield protection, you know, more shield with your helmet, which I thought was pretty cool because you can change the color of it. You can change the pattern, so you can go in like camo or stripes or something like that.
Yeah.
But I thought that was cool because you can actually pick up, say if you did play the first two, you didn't get any of the DLC, you can pretty much buy that armor.
Yeah, you can buy it. It costs a lot, but you can buy it.
Yeah, exactly, which was cool because the collector armor, which I believe came in the collector's edition for Mass Effect 2,
Okay.
it makes you look like one of the enemies, which I thought it looked awesome.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't really use it a whole lot just because I liked having the bonuses of switching the different armor pieces.
Yeah.
Because you get more of a bonus. But I thought it was pretty cool because it's like, oh, you know, I missed out on the collector's edition for 2, but now I can actually buy it.
Yeah, it's a cool little way to
new
tie up.
character, I have the Inferno armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have the Cerberus, you have the Inferno, you have Collectors, you have
The Dragon Age 2,
Dragon Age and the Kingdom of Amalur.
Yeah.
one, which I didn't get the Kingdom of Amalur.
Oh my gosh,
but I heard it looks sick.
The cool thing about it is, like how I said with the one piece of armor, you get one thing and that's it, you can't customize it. I really wanted to use the Kingdoms of Amalur armor just because it looks so badass. I mean, there's like spikes everywhere. You look like freaking road warriors.
Yeah.
And it was so cool, but I mean, I couldn't customize it. So I was just kind of like, I don't want to use it.
Yeah, it sucks. That's the thing about these games is every piece of armor has its own stats. So it's not like you can go buy a set and then give it the stats you want.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it keeps you restricted, too, so you're not, like, everybody's running around with the same set of armor.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about, like, armor customization and all that stuff?
Honestly, I didn't know you could do that until, like, I was in, like, maybe 20 hours of the game. I was like, wait, I can change the color of it?
Yeah.
Because I was using just the regular armor they give you when you start off.
Yeah.
Like, I went up to his room, and I just started, you could change your armor. I was like, whoa. So I was changing, I was like, I'd change it all black or black and red, and the camouflage, you can make your armor like a camouflage kind of thing. Where you mix the colors together.
Well, I mean, with some of the armor, you can make yourself look like a badass.
Yeah.
Like I have the across the face visor. It's blue, but my armor is all black, so I look like a futuristic like space cop who just goes in and kicks bad guys.
One of the head armor I think is death.
Oh yeah, the death mask.
Death mask. That was kind of cool to put on, but I didn't really like wearing a head mask because I kind of felt out of the loop where I was looking at my what's his one character, your one squad mate?
Garrus?
No, the American guy.
James Vega?
James. I would have him on my squad, and I'm like in my helmet, and he's just like, "What's up?" So I'm like,
the cool thing about that though is what a lot of RPGs, especially BioWare, what they do a lot of their games. There's an option where you can turn the headpiece off.
Yeah.
You'll still get the bonuses for that armor piece, but you won't wear the helmet. So in the cinematic cutscenes or in the talking parts, you'll actually see your commander's face.
That's cool.
And along with that too is another thing people might not know is when you go to your squad selection when you're going to start a mission, if you hit Y, you can change the armor sets. I believe James actually has 3, and then some of the other people only have 2. But it's really cool.
I was going to say, if you download the Ashes to Ashes or the From Ashes DLC, it actually gives everybody at least like 2 pieces of extra armor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I recommend getting that DLC.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Because I played the first playthrough and I didn't have it, and then you guys told me about it, and now that I'm playing through it, I like it a little more, and I can't wait to get the squad mate.
I was going to say, it's like a brand new squad mate, and it's a Prothean. So you go back to Eden Prime, which was the very first mission in the first game. Try not to spoil too much, but you kind of see why he's alive. He's the only one left. You get him in your squad. It's really cool because he gives you like a background of the Protheans and stuff like that. And it's cool from his point of view because it's, like 50,000 years later.
Yeah.
And so everything's new and crazy, and so he's just like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And then later on in the game, you actually go back to it's like a Prothean, like place.
Yeah.
Like a homeworld. So it's cool hearing from him. And I love how they do this too, because depending on what area you go to and what squad member you bring in, they give you more information on that place based off of either if they read about it or if they actually live there, say with the Prothean and going in that area. So I love that factor. That's something that's really, really, really sweet that they...
Yeah, that's definitely really awesome. For those who don't know, the From Ashes DLC, you can buy it separately. I believe it came... Did it come with the collector edition?
Yeah, it did. That was basically what made the collector edition.
Okay, but they went ahead and made it so you can buy it separately for like an extra $10.
Yeah.
$10 seems a lot, but I will agree with these guys. Not only is the mission itself to get them pretty awesome, but they involve these characters so much in your missions that I definitely think it's worth it. I had a lot of times where I was going through to get ready for a mission, and I based who I was picking based on not really how much they played, though sometimes it did, but also what I felt like they would give me in regards of backstory. So like you said, you do go to like another place where it's ancient, and I kind of knew ahead of time what it was for, so I was like, I'm going to pick him. I was really glad I did. Now, I don't know what the other people would have said, but this guy basically, like, they made sure he knew his shit.
Oh, yeah.
He told you straight out. Like, he had no qualms about it. He's like, look, this is what I know. You guys are either dumb and need to pick it up, or you guys already know it, so good job. You know? And it's really awesome picking it that way. So what about? So you obviously liked him. Did you once? Now, do you have him yet or no?
No, I'm not even there yet.
Not there yet. I would see now when I played. Because I got the DLC, that was like the first mission I did. So I made sure I got him right away. For those who are looking to buy it, I would go ahead and get him right away too. Obviously, from what I said, he helps out a lot. Once you get him, though you haven't played the other 2 games, it's worth it, to bring him on some missions. Other missions, not so much. You kind of start getting a feel of like, oh, this place is going to be like ancient, so I want to know more if you're into that. Now, like we said, this is an RPG, so you get missions. And along with the streamlining, they do streamline in how you get a lot of missions or quests, This game, you can walk around. The Citadel is a main city. You can walk around there, and if you hear a conversation long enough, you will automatically get that quest in your log, which is awesome because you don't have to sit there and go through a whole bunch of dialogue forever, just to get a quest. That's like, go pick up 10 books or something ridiculous like most other RPGs. It definitely is a lot better that way, though there are a lot of major quests that you get through talking to people. But those major quests also have to do a lot with whether you're going to get Renegade or Paragon to it. So, what did you think about the quest getting and all that stuff?
For me, honestly, I didn't really like that, how you walk and you just get a story or a mission. Because my first playthrough, I beat the game, or didn't really, I got to pretty far in the game and I look up all the missions and I'm like, I didn't even talk to any of these people.
So they automatically gave you the missions anyways, even though you were playing the story.
Yeah, I just walk by them, they talk about them. So, no, my second playthrough, though, I'm actually paying attention a little bit more, but it's alright. The mission, some of them don't really mean anything. It's just like, oh, go to this planet and probe it, come back. Something I don't like about it, though, is the Citadel. I don't like the Citadel, how most of my time in the game is walking and loading. So I'm pretty much playing, say I play 5 hours, 3 hours of my gameplay is me walking around the Citadel, just loading and waiting to go place to place. So I wish it was a little bit more open where it's just, alright, you walk up the stairs and now you're here and here.
Okay, what about you?
I love the fact that how you were saying if you stand around somebody long enough you get the quest, because it reminds me a lot of how Oblivion and Skyrim did. If you're just walking in the town, the little thing will pop up, new topic.
Oh, okay.
And then that's what you can go and talk to people about.
Yeah.
I do agree with Gage on the fact that it's basically just fetch quests.
Yeah.
Like this guy is, the mission layouts for this is basically one guy talking, he needs something to do something, but it's on a different planet.
Yeah.
That's basically almost all the side quests you get in the game.
Yeah.
And in order to get those, you scan the planets, either if you have it unlocked or you progress to the story mission. You get the item, you bring it back, and then you'll get your credits and experience. It's alright. It doesn't really help out a whole lot.
Just experience.
Exactly. It's if you need a quick level or you need some cash for Commander Shepard's wallet.
Yeah.
The cool thing though that I really did like about this is, say if you're not a big into like doing side quests, there's something on the Citadel which is called the Spectre Terminal, which is basically your computer off of your. It's your home away from home, essentially. You can go there if you miss a quest. Say if you go to a main part of the game and there's a guy that needs a stick off the ground. If you miss it, you can go back to the Spectre Terminal and buy it.
Yeah. And
come back, get your credits and stuff, so you complete that quest, which I thought was really cool. Because if you miss it, another thing I want to talk about is I actually love how the Citadel looks this time around.
Oh yeah,
it is
definitely major
awesome.
improvement.
It is so cool looking. One of the things that I really hope that they bring in DLC is Omega and Ilium.
Okay.
I really, if the Citadel can be upgraded to how it looks now, just imagine what the other places can look like. Because I mean, I'm sure Omega is just going to look even dirtier. It's just going to look. It's just going to look. Yeah. It's going to be like all grody and. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like some like space needles laying around.
Yeah, really.
But I'm really excited to see because like how we were talking about the graphics this time around are it's a super overhaul.
Yeah. So back to the quest thing. There are a few things I don't like. right away is, like Gage said, if you walk around and you're not paying attention, you do pick up a lot of quests. I remember that actually happened to me my first time going through. I kept seeing these little things pop up in the bottom corner of my screen, and I didn't know what they were for. I thought they were just information, and it turned out to be quests.
For a journal.
Yeah. The other thing is and I guess this is something you take for granted playing a lot of RPGs, but they don't step by step you through these quests.
Yeah.
So, and I like it now that I think about it, but when I was playing it, it was really frustrating because you would get a lot of quests, and they'd say, "Hey, can I get this orb from this planet?" And you'd be like, "Okay." And then it would say that it was, they would just say what system it was in. You wouldn't know what planet it was. And then there was a lot of quests that you would get at the beginning that you had to get so far in the main story before you could do it.
You wouldn't even have it.
Yep. I do disagree on you guys, though, and the fact of they're pointless. I did find a lot of side quests that I did help in the fact that you got war assets.
Yeah.
I think one I ended up helping the Hanar, and they became part of my war assets, so I don't know what they actually did. And then the other guys, the short guys with the mask, I think the Elcor or something like that. There was another few side quests I did that the guy basically said that he would be on my side for a big meeting that takes place in the game. Overall, though, it is a lot better in the fact that the first game you had to talk to everybody to get a quest. The second game you could get side quests if you talked long enough to someone, but they didn't throw them all over the place.
It's kind of like a mix between like what it would be.
Yeah.
Like you got some of them, and then you had to talk to people for some of them.
Yeah. Overall, though, you're right about the way the Citadel looks. I mean, that when you said that, it instantly brought memories back to the first game where Citadel wasted a lot of time, and you're pissed about the Citadel now. You played the first game. I probably spent... If I beat the game in 60 hours, I probably spent at least 30 of it in the Citadel, walking around. Something to counteract with your game, and I don't know if you did this, is if you install the game, it helps. That's another thing they did a really good job about this time is if you install the game, loading times are actually pretty decent. I don't think I sat at a loading screen longer than, at most, 30 seconds, but normally like 10 seconds, which isn't too bad. I mean, if you're playing a lot, you just grab something to eat real quick. Like, if you got something next to you, or take a sip of something.
I was going to say, speaking of loading screens, they took out, they took out elevators.
Yeah.
From the first game, which was, I didn't mind the elevators as much. It was an interactive loading screen, kind of, because you would either listen to your, like, team chatter.
Yeah. Like,
they would make fun of each other or something like that, or you'd hear a radio broadcast about your previous mission or something like that, which was kind of cool. I know in 3 they actually make a joke about the elevators, which is kind of funny. But I mean, I didn't really have a big problem with the loading screens in this one. Like, I get loaded, but then I found myself loading again really fast. But
I know another major problem that I had, maybe because I was impatient all the time, but going from the Citadel onto the Normandy, I would automatically get into the galaxy map and then hit A right away and then accidentally load myself back onto the Citadel because I forget that you have to hit X to zoom out or leave. It wasn't bad, and like I said, my loading screens weren't that long, so I think overall that whole process would have taken me like a minute. But so what do you think of like the Citadel and walking around, other than the loading screens, like how it looks? Or
no, it looked good. Like, I mean, I liked it. I didn't like I wish it was just all one big map where you just, alright, walking upstairs, walking up this escalator. I didn't.
Well, that's how it was for 2, actually.
Yeah.
Because you had different areas to go into where it would obviously load, but it would basically say, here's the Citadel, here's different levels. You'd walk and go.
Yeah. I mean, I guess overall though, that's how 3 really is, because you have 4, 5, 6 different sections or so in the Citadel, but they're all kind of long or elongated or different shapes, but overall it's not too bad.
No.
So multiplayer is a big feature they added this game. For those of you who've played Gears of War, you already know about Horde mode. It's a major thing, the new upcoming, like, everybody loves it. Well, not really new anymore, but they added that into Mass Effect. Now, those who instantly hear me say that are like, oh my god, it's another Horde mode, whatever, what's really the big deal? The thing I really personally like about this Horde mode is it's not just shooting. You have different characters and you can use all the classes. And the good thing about it is if you played the campaign as one class, it might take you to want to use another class if you are thinking about playing again. I know me personally, like I said, I played the main story as a engineer. I didn't really like the abilities that they gave you in multiplayer, though the class abilities are the same. They don't give you all of them. Yeah. They kind of spread them out. So I found myself playing an adept more, which is like a they use abilities. Yeah, biotics. Yeah. So overall, I really liked it. You know, another thing, kind of without really going back, is multiplayer is really fun when you play with people because all your points go together, and when you like shoot people and stuff like that, it really helps. Kind of slightly going back, but not really trying to, is they did a good job on upgrading the gun sounds and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They made them a lot more realistic sounding, and they made things a lot better. I don't really remember 1 and 2 having headshots, but this game has headshots, and it's awesome when you do it. Obviously, the head will explode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's really cool. Especially for me, I snipe, so when I'm zoomed in and I see it, like, sniping them like 50 yards away and their head explodes, it's really awesome. It's really
I mean, it's an awesome feeling. It's not as powerful. It doesn't have as a powerful sound as Gears of War.
Yeah.
Say when you do the headshot, because if you get a headshot in Gears of War, you hear it. Everybody hears it.
Yeah, and it's like...
yeah, exactly. And this one, I don't know, I guess it's just a weird thing that I like, but I really love that the head just.
Yeah, it feels invigorating knowing that you're blowing someone's head off.
Right.
Yeah. But, so anyways, kind of going back forward again, you know, all your points, everything you do adds up to like a whole team point system. And then at the end of the game, everybody gets the same amount of experience, basically. So let's go with you, and what did you think about it?
Oh man, I loved the multiplayer. I played it constantly. One of the really awesome things that they're doing with the multiplayer is it wasn't. When I first heard about multiplayer, I was scared.
Yeah, so I was like, what are they gonna do?
I thought Mass Effect 3 was probably going to be the worst game ever, just because it was going to have the multiplayer now.
Yeah.
But it turns out I was dead wrong, because I think, in my opinion, I don't like playing a lot of multiplayer stuff. But if it's co-op games like this, I will play the crap out of it.
Yeah.
I love the co-op feel, especially for a game that's like this, that has the customization that it does. The guns and stuff, you can earn all the guns that you can get in single player, but there's like the rare guns and stuff like that. But basically, you get them by purchasing packs.
Yeah.
Which, coming from how I used to play like card games back in the day, buying a booster pack at Walmart or whatever, you never knew what was going to be inside. It was all random stuff. That's how it is for the in-game shop, how you get the guns, the character classes, the weapon mods, equipment, all that kind of stuff. So when you buy it, you don't know what you're going to get. Yeah. And it's so addicting going into the missions and making sure you get the money just because you need to buy a new pack.
Yeah.
Like, you constantly have to buy packs because it's either going to be a new character, it's going to be an awesome gun that you can use, weapon mods to make your gun even more awesome, equipment, say for a rocket launcher that you need to take out the big enemies, ammo packs, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah. And
how you were saying with the character classes, that's actually a really good point. Say if you already beat story mode with the class that you went into, you can say it's like, I don't want to really go in as a soldier in my next playthrough. Well, with multiplayer, if you like playing the Sentinel, you know, it's kind of like, I like using his powers. I may do that through my next playthrough in story mode. So it's kind of like a test before you go back in.
Yeah. Another thing with that is the way you talk about money. I agree a lot with that whole getting the booster packs or whatever. For those who don't know or haven't played it yet, first of all, every class has like 4 to 5 characters in them, and those, obviously the first 2 I believe are human for every class. Human male, human female, and then you have 2 that are locked. The locked ones you unlock by getting the booster packs. More weapons you unlock by booster packs. Health you unlock by booster packs. Basically all this stuff you unlock by booster packs. The reason I really love it is going back to the fact that games these days are all about customization. This game restrains customization, but in a good way, because like Call of Duty or other online games, you make your money and then you go out to go buy the best weapon. Like, you save up for that. Mm-hmm. This is not like that. You basically, it's a chance. Now, sure, some people get pissed at it because they want a certain weapon that they used in single player and you won't get it.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is it really helps the fact of making people want to play more and also trying harder, you know, to finish the objectives and be a team player. Overall, you unlock your characters like that. Now, with this online, there's level up, and obviously, like all other games online, there's a level up system. This one pertains to your class, so when you level up, you get points that you can use in your abilities, kind of like any other RPG, but online. Leveling up is obviously done through what you do during the game and all that. When you level up, or when you buy booster packs, so you can buy not only the unlock for another character, so like an Azari Vanguard or something, but you can also get a chance at getting a plus 100,000 XP towards your Azari Vanguard.
The XP bonus.
So you don't have to go in and kind of start them all from level 1, you know, which is really cool. Leveling up, I believe, isn't really that hard for me. If you play with people, you play on a good setting, medium setting like silver or something, you can basically hit 5 levels within the first game.
Especially if you're like, say how you did, if you buy the character pack, which gives you like the 200,000 XP bonus or whatever, that'll bump you up to like level 2 or 3. Mm-hmm. Even if you're on bronze, which is like the kind of it's I would say it's easy normal.
Yeah.
If you beat all 10 waves of that, you'll automatically get like 5 levels.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Which is good.
Yeah.
So what do you think about it?
Me personally, I did not play the Mass Effect multiplayer. I've lost my love for playing multiplayer lately. I'm not a multiplayer guy. And going into this, I know Call of Duty, I was a big multiplayer here with the Call of Duties, the Gears of War. And when Mass Effect had the multiplayer, it wasn't for me. I'm not a multiplayer guy anymore.
Did you touch it at all, or no?
No, I didn't touch it at all.
We're going to have to try to get you in a game to see if we can convert you over or something. But I understand what you mean. I personally used to be huge in multiplayer. Obviously, if you haven't known by now, I was huge in Halo. And over time, I kind of started dying out with what I played and all that. But like Josh said, though, my only thing that keeps me in multiplayer is playing with either, Josh, my friends, my brother, things like that. Because it's not a chance on getting someone who's a really crappy player and having to yell at them over the internet and just quitting out. If it's my brother, I can just look at him and be like, "You're dumb. Quit being dumb. Let's pick it up and do this." Or if it's Josh, I can drive over to his house and like punch him in the face.
Slap the controller out.
Yeah, that's why I love Borderlands, and that's really the only thing that keeps me playing multiplayer. So I'm really glad that you can do that this time around with people on Mass Effect.
One of the things about multiplayer I wanted to add in, though, is when you were talking about when you choose the class, it gives you the set amount of powers for that class.
Yeah.
It'll perfectly blend it where it's your Y power and then your left and right bumper powers. One of the things that I really wish you could do is when you choose to level up that character, you can choose what power you want to do or add a new one.
Yeah.
Say for, this kind of goes back, but for story mode, if you build up a relationship with one of the characters on your ship, you'll earn one of their powers that they have.
Yeah, if you go back and buy it.
And you can use it regardless of your class.
Yeah.
So I'm a soldier, but I also have Slam, which is a biotic power, which I love because I can just smash people on the ground, but whatever. Yeah. But that would be really cool to incorporate in a multiplayer, just because it would be like, hey, I have this awesome character, but I'm borrowing something from your class.
Yeah.
So if I was a soldier, I really wish that I could choose to steal one of someone else's powers.
Yeah.
Because I would really
like a trade-off.
Exactly. I would really love to use pull, which obviously it says it's what it is. You pull the character towards you, but there's these enemies called guardians where they have shields.
Yeah.
If you use pull, you can rip the shield from their hand. So being a soldier, you know, you can go in all badass and pull the shield and then like concuss
blow
a
their
shot,
head
or
off.
yeah, exactly, or headshot. But I mean, the way that they do it, I'm not going to complain about it because I really love multiplayer. But I just wish that'd be kind of something cool that they added in, like a mix of classes. You know?
Yeah, and that's I'll just go ahead and explain too for myself. I picked engineer in the main game because you can have a combat drone, but you can also hack AIs, and that's standard. That's not something you get from anybody else, you know. So when I went into multiplayer, I obviously picked engineer again. You get the combat drone, but you don't get the hacking. I believe they gave that to a Vanguard or something like that. But another thing added on to what he's saying is when you unlock the different races to play as, the different races also have a different mix. Yeah. So like for me, when I was an engineer, I had, you know, the combat drone and something else. Well, later on down the line, someone else might have the defense combat drone or something. Or I currently play adept, so I have warp and something else, stasis, I believe it is. But later on down the line, they might have warp and shockwave or something. You know, so they mix it up in the fact that you got to unlock the classes to get the abilities that you want. Mm-hmm. But like he said, it's not like you can pick what you want. So it also might be rare that some of the classes have both abilities that you want. You only have 3 abilities, by the way, too. So it's not like you can go through and have like 8 abilities like single player.
Yeah, one of the things too that we should probably add is the max character level for multiplayer is 20.
Yeah.
You can't build your character to like super powerful max. You can max out what you want in the early stages, but you're always going to have something that will be off by maybe like 2 or 3 points.
Yeah.
If you get it right, which I was highly upset about. For one of my characters, I was able to level because I didn't touch the armor ability, the hardened ability. It was either hardened ability for my soldier or my tech armor for my sentinel.
Okay.
But I only put 1 point into it because obviously it has to have 1 point.
Yeah.
But I maxed out everything and I almost had all I wanted, but I was off by actually 1 point. I had.
Were you?
Yeah, I had because the last one is you need 6 points.
Yeah.
I had 5. And I was at level 20, which kind of it was kind of aggravating, but my character was good, so I didn't mind. But when you reach max level, they kind of took it like a prestige type of deal from Call of Duty. So if you're at max level, you deploy your multiplayer class, which is the N7 Special Ops. It deploys as a war asset into the main story mode.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll get a private message in your terminal, and it'll say, there's a renegade squad of N7 Special Ops that are out doing this thing. They'll be added to your war assets, which is kind of cool because
that is
multiplayer actually plays into a part of the story, which actually helps out.
Yeah, now I was a little confused when you first said that. So real quick with how he said multiplayer plays in. When you play single player campaign, you have Galaxy at War map. That basically is a tally of all your war assets and all that stuff. No matter what, if you look, you have on the left side of the screen, you have your assets and stuff, and on the right is a map of the different parts within the galaxy. Its standards, it's all at 50%. Well, if you go through and you play multiplayer and keep playing and playing and playing, every map that you play gives you 15% more towards your Galaxy at War if you pick that map. If you don't pick that map, if you pick random, then it gives you +3 overall to all the fields. Now what that does is, like, say for me, I had 6,000 more assets. Before doing this, I only had like 3,000 or something, I guess would survive or something, I forget what it said. But then once I went through and did the multiplayer and got them all up to 100%, that means that I had 6,000 assets and all 6,000 would survive.
You
pretty
use
much.
it to the fullest potential.
Yeah, fullest potential effectiveness. So, now you didn't play multiplayer at all, so you don't really have... Do you have anything else to say, or like...
I did play multiplayer.
Okay. So, you know, that's really interesting. I didn't know about that with the leveling up of the people. Now, another thing, too, that I was going to ask, because I think you played more than me. When you get the random grab bag thing, do you get armor sets, too? Because I know you can choose your colors of your armor and all that, too, for all your people. But then, like, you couldn't choose your secondary color and all that. Like, there's a few options that were locked or something. Now, what's up with that?
The thing with that is, like how you were talking about, you get the cards for the character class and then the XP bonus. if you receive the first character card, you basically unlock the new race for that class or whatever.
Yeah.
The next time you get that card, that basically it's an XP bonus, and it unlocks a new setting for your appearance option.
Okay.
So you don't unlock new armor, but the more cards you get for the same character for that class, the more options you get to customize that character. Say, I know for the Turians, you get, for everybody it's standard, you get primary, highlight color, secondary, pattern color, and then lights.
Yeah. The
lights for your armor. That's standard for everybody, but for some of the characters, there's actually, you can do skin color.
Okay.
Yeah, there's I think that's just the only different one, because I know the Turians have skin color, Krogans have skin color too, I believe, Solarians as well.
Okay.
Which is really cool because it adds more customization to it, but you don't actually change really like what they wear.
Okay.
So,
all right. So let's start with closing thoughts. We'll go with you, and then we'll do you last since you haven't played it like the other games. So, what do you think?
I love it. I definitely recommend it. I know, obviously, you've probably heard, if you're reading into it, there's a lot of hype over the ending of the game. I want to say this without, really spoiling anything.
Yeah.
But I think the ending is awesome. There's rumors that they're probably changing the ending.
Yeah.
I can't really say anything. I can't tell them how to run their business, but they do what they want. I personally love the ending.
Yeah.
I don't think there should be I don't think there should be a fuss of like how much of a fuss there actually is. I don't think it should be elevated to that level, because there's not really a lot of ways you can end a trilogy like this.
Yeah.
I know you and me talked about this before.
Oh yeah.
No one really said anything about how lame the Halo trilogy ended.
Oh yeah.
So, and
or Call of Duties or anything
exactly,
else,
yeah.
really.
Well, the thing with Call of Duty, I mean, everybody's saying that's like an awesome ending and that has the best characters.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, without going.
Yeah. If Halo can span pretty much 2 systems, if that trilogy can span over a lifetime of 2 systems,
yeah,
and have the ending that it did, I think that should upset more people than a trilogy that it wasn't a launch title, but is kind of squeezed in to the lifespan
as
of the Xbox.
Exclusive,
exactly, yeah, of the Xbox 360. I think it's fine. Like, yeah. I love the game. The character development is something that should be taken example of for games that come up next, because you love these characters. You do not want them to die on these missions. The multiplayer also is something that should be an example of how it ties in with the story mode. Yeah. How fun the multiplayer is. They actually add weekly challenges, kind of like a Left 4 Dead type of thing, which is cool. It's like the mutator system for that. Yeah. So you'll get more either XP bonuses, you'll get special items in the shop, special missions for the actual waves and stuff like that. But I mean, I highly recommend it. I think it's a phenomenal game. It was amazing. Yeah.
Now I played the first one. The first one, like when I first played it, I was like, "There's no way they're gonna do a trilogy." I mean, this game was so huge. They obviously did a trilogy, and I must say it's really awesome. I can't boast enough about how emotional they really try to make this. Now it's not as good as some like other things that I've seen, but they definitely really bring it down to the nitty gritty of this is Earth, this is where you live. If you want to save it, then you try your damnedest to do it. Or if you want it to be destroyed, whatever. I like the fact that you actually have to go around. In the second game, you had to go and do your loyalty missions for all the characters on your squad. And then that would determine on who lives and who dies. And same with this game, not really loyalty missions, but there were missions that is basically like you got to talk to these people if you want to live throughout the game. So that's another thing, that if you're into RPGs and you want the backstory, you'll talk to every character and learn about them. And you can also get into romances with some of the characters too. Overall, though, the game is really good. The graphics are amazing. I didn't really have a problem with it. The only problem I had, and I guess we kind of forgot to talk about it, is the cover system. Cover system really pissed me off. I would run sometimes and I'd be near a wall and it would put me behind the wall. I would try to jump over something sometimes, and
It would just like roll out.
Yeah, I would either roll out or I would just get stuck behind there like cover. And the other thing with the emotion too is when you go on certain missions. Towards the end, it was like I had to sit and stare at the screen for like 5 minutes before I picked who I was going to go on a mission with. Because in the back of my head, I was like, I really like this person, but I don't want him to die. Or this person's been with me the longest. I want them with me. You know, it's kind of hard. I didn't feel it as much in this game as I did in 2, because 2, if you play it all the way through, there are a lot of options towards the end of what each character kind of does and who does what towards the last missions. This game is definitely a lot easier than that, but overall, it's really awesome. Without trying to get too political on the ending, I believe it was fine. Also, I understand people's comments about why they don't like it. Really, I think it's just you take it what it is. If you played all 3 games, then I feel like you should understand how they did it. And also, from a production standpoint, and I can't stress this enough, these people come to publishers like EA, and they need the money to, feed their families and stuff like that. Pretty much, they don't have unlimited money to keep production in business. I know I've played all 3 games, and I feel like it would take them another year to make an ending that tailored to all the different choices you make, which is what people are complaining about. Overall, I think it's a mix between EA and BioWare. Now, I don't really know for sure. That's just me saying this. But I think you need to take it for what it is. Don't take everything for granted, pretty much. I think the ending is fine. Other people, if you're pissed, that's fine. Speak about it. You're allowed to. But don't put a company, I would say, in a position like BioWare where, now they have to waste more time and money where they could be spending on other projects, making DLC and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Either way, I mean, you have your own opinions, do what you want. I think the ending is fine. What about you, Gage?
Like I said earlier, I very underestimated this game. Underestimated this game. Talking to Josh, I remember saying I didn't want to play it. I tried it. It's one of my favorite games, probably top 10, I would say, easily. The story, I got into it. I was really getting into it. Even the beginning, when you're doing your little getting to the flow of the game. Yeah. There's one scene where it's like you see this one spaceship, not to be a spoiler, but
it's the beginning side.
Yeah, spaceship to blow up, and there's a certain character on there, and you're like, wow, like.
Yeah. That was the first thing that I was like, oh my god, this game is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I was like, oh my god, I feel really bad too, because I just watched that happen.
Yeah. There's a lot of scenes in the game where I'm just like watching, I'm like, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? And it kind of gets you in the moment. And I haven't played a game like that probably since Red Dead, I would probably say.
Yeah, Red Dead was pretty good with that.
Little kind of some things I didn't like. The squad didn't like. I wish they took every race and put them in a squad mate. Krogan was my favorite race, and I wish I could have got a squad that was Krogan.
So you want multiple races?
Yeah, multiple races for your squad mates.
So you could have 2 Krogan and stuff like that. Okay.
I wish you could have got that. I do recommend this game, but I would say play Mass Effect 2 before you played Mass Effect 3 because. As much as I loved Mass Effect 3, I should have played the first 3, and it was just like, when I think about this game, I think about Gears of War. I didn't play any of the Gears of War until the last one.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
This is almost the same thing where I didn't play all of them, and I played the third one, and it's like, I can't go back and play the other ones, because I'm not that kind of person.
Not that motivated?
Yeah, I'm not motivated.
I completely understand
I was going to say, it's kind of like a double-edged sword on your account, because... Yeah. How we talk about the way that the game does its voice acting and cutscenes and stuff like that, it's so good.
Yeah.
And you feel, compassion for these people. And I mean, if you didn't play the other 2 games and it still worked on you, and then that obviously sets something
that just goes to show, the type of production value they have for this game.
Yeah. So this is a don't miss game this year.
For sure.
So definitely pick it up. Yeah. So you are
Gage.
I'm Matt.
I am Josh.
And this is Crash Test Reviews.
Thanks, guys.